So when I first heard of this movie and I sat down to watch it, for some reason I was thinking that maybe it had something to do with the movie Ted. You know, the one with the foul-mouthed teddy bear? So you can imagine my confusion a few minutes into this thing. Man, Marky Mark really let himself go. Ted K is brought to us by director Tony Stone and stars Sharlto Copley and, well, yeah, that's about it. It's kind of a one-man show here. An exploration of Ted Kacynski's life in Lincoln, Montana in the years leading up to his arrest as the Unabomber. So Ted K is about Ted Kacynski, the Unabomber. If you're not familiar who the Unabomber is, I'm sure you've seen the pictures of him, the drawings that they had back in the day where he had like the hoodie and the glasses and all that. He was a guy who went around and sent primarily mail bombs to a bunch of places and just blew up places all over the country. Everybody was terrified. Anytime somebody got a strange package for years and years, that's all you could think of, is that it was gonna be a bomb from this guy. I remember when a lot of this was going on, and I remember when Kacynski was caught. Now that being said, when it happened, I was, I think, a teenager, so while I know some of the basics about Ted Kacynski and things he did and where he was and all that, I'm not like fully versed on everything about his life. So when it comes to the validity of everything in this movie, I can't really say. I don't know if everything that is said in this movie actually happened the way that the movie says it did. To the movie's credit, it does say in the beginning of the movie that the movie was filmed on the same land that his cabin was on. I guess it's not there anymore. And that much of the dialogue in the film that he says comes from the many, many notes that he had all over his cabin. So much of what is said in this movie is Kacynski's work. The context that they're put in and the events in this movie, well, yes, some of them obviously happened. You know, we've got news reports of it and all. All the other stuff, I can't say. I'm just gonna take the movie at its own word. That being said, Ted Kacynski was a sick individual. Kacynski lived much of his adult life as a hermit in the mountains of Montana. He had some major issues with modern technology and how he felt as if it was encroaching on nature. And while, yeah, honestly, a point could be made for that in some ways, this guy took it a bit far. We don't get like Ted's early life or anything. When the movie starts, he's already out there living that hermit life. So if you're wanting to learn how it was he ended up here, how he got to this point, this isn't the movie. You're not gonna find that out. We meet Ted, and Ted's already kind of crazy. Apparently, he was a Harvard graduate, and I think he was a professor for a while or something like that. It says in the beginning, he was something. He was on his way to being a pillar of the community, and then one day he just snapped and said, fuck this shit, and went out to the fucking woods. He has pretty much no social skills. This guy can't talk to men, women, or anything. He does a pretty good job of talking to himself, I'll give him that much. But when it comes to other people, no, that's not Ted's forte. Ted spends his days like writing in code crazy shit about how the world needs to burn down and technology needs to go away and all these conspiracy theories and stuff like that. He also doesn't like unnatural noises like planes and stuff, so periodically he'll just take pot shots at passing planes. Now, as far as I know, he doesn't hit any of them, but he is trying. I mean, he's giving it his all. He's also not too keen on people out in the woods having fun on like dirt bikes or snowmobiles and all that stuff. When that happens, well, Ted doesn't respond to any of that very well. While we don't get any of his early life and how he got here, we do get to see the evolution of how he took these ideas and this kind of crazy stuff that was going on in his head and turned it into him making bombs and sending it to people. This took place over the course of like 15 or 20 years. This didn't happen like in an afternoon. He had time to cultivate his crazy. And the movie does a pretty good job of showing how Ted views this world, how he takes these things that happen in the world, twists them around a bit, and how it kind of makes sense to him that it's all gotta go down. And while the filmmaking and writing does have a part to play in this and how we believe this, the biggest contributing factor to this would be Sharlto Copley's performance. Holy shit, this guy transformed into Ted Kacynski. Say what you will about this film, its narrative, its pace, all that stuff. I don't think anybody can deny that Copley did a fantastic fantastic job here. This is one of those performances that people will call transformative, because that is exactly what it is. He looks like Ted Kacynski. He, I think, sounds like Ted Kacynski. Admittedly, I don't know what Ted Kacynski sounds like, but he sure as hell doesn't sound like Sharlto Copley. The vast majority of this movie is just Copley all by himself. It's his thoughts, a lot of narration, or him just talking aloud to abso-fucking-lutely nothing. And while that sounds like it might not be the most riveting thing in the world, I was glued to my seat. This guy's performance is absolutely what sells this thing, and he does a fantastic job here. This is an Oscar-worthy performance. Now, I don't think he'll ever get nominated for it, but he should. The way he played this character, you even feel sympathy at time for him. And this is the fucking Unabomber. You're not supposed to feel any of that for him. But Copley did such a great job that you just want this guy to turn it around. You feel so bad for him. It is such a sad performance. But don't worry, as soon as you feel any sympathy for this character, as soon as you feel bad for him, he'll turn around and do something so fucking crazy or do something so fucked up that he's just irredeemable. And then he'll just take you on that ride again, even though he does these terrible things. This performance is so great that there are times that you really truly do feel for this guy, even though he's done some really fucked up things. Now let me clear something up real quick. I do not have any sympathy whatsoever for the real life Ted Kacynski. I'm talking about this character within this movie, and I know the character is based on a real life person, but this is Copley's performance. This is not actually Ted Kacynski. Ted Kacynski himself, fuck off, you can die. I think he should have already been put to death. But that goes to show how good Copley's performance is here. Man, this guy did something special here, and if he's not nominated for an Academy Award or Golden Globe or something, then there is no justice in the world. And that is to say that there's probably not any justice in the world. The events that take place in this movie are not really what the movie's about. Yeah, we get to see how he makes some bombs, how he gets to the point where he wants to make bombs. We get to see him sending them, how he got them in the mail and to these places, all the trials and tribulations he went through to make a bomb because he didn't get it right the first time. We get to see a lot of those terrible instances that we all heard so much about while this was going on, but that is not what the movie's really about. The movie is about this man and his mental state. We get to see inside his brain and what's really going on in there and how fucking crazy he was. Sure, based on his writings, there were a couple of points, like the basis sub, that he may have had a bit of a point, like technology taking over things and going a little bit too far. But dude, he took it way too fucking far. In Ted's world, there is no happy medium. It is that it just needs to all go away. It is all evil and it needs to go. But that also is not all the movie's about. All his writings did not just deal with that. We get to see how he feels, how he is so lonely and alone, and he really does want to form a connection with people, but he just doesn't know how. It is such a sad, sad existence. None of that in the slightest justifies what he did, but it doesn't change the fact that it's just sad to see this person out there so alone and sad and just pathetic. It's tough to talk about a movie that deals essentially with a real life monster, but somehow they're able to get you to feel for the guy at least a little bit. And once again, I do want to make the distinction that you feel for this character in this film, not the real life guy. But even so, you are caring about a character that is based on a real life monster, and that is a little bit disturbing. That makes the movie a bit unnerving because it does make you have those feelings. But that is to the movie's credit, because that's what they set out to do, to make you feel something for Ted Kacynski, this person. Well, yes, it doesn't sit here and validate what he did in the slightest. They wanted you to see that while he is a monster, he is also a human being. He is a person just like anyone else. He's a person that did some fucking terrible, awful things, but he is, at the end of the day, still a person. Guys, Ted K was a pretty interesting movie with an absolutely phenomenal performance in it. The movie's a bit slower, and honestly, it doesn't deal with a whole lot of those big aspects of Ted Kacynski's life as some people are going to want it to. However, what it does do is give you a look into this human being, this person. It forces us to look at this monster as an actual person. A fucking crazy person, but a person nonetheless. And Sharlto Copley is absolutely phenomenal here and sells the shit out of this character and this movie and makes it absolutely worth a rent.
All he wanted was this.
I have to return some videotape.
This was was a really good movie, but it is a tough movie to watch at times, especially since it deals with such real life events. But if you're up for it, then Ted K is definitely worth your time. So there it is, guys, my review of Ted K. If you enjoyed and want more content like this, hit that subscribe button and help my little channel grow. If you want to help out the channel, check out my Patreon in the description below and become a jarhead and get some of the awesome benefits that go along with that, like these guys. And possibly check out my top tier and become a bad motherfucker like my man Greg C and Dragon Khan. If you liked what I had to say, give me a like. If not, let me know in the comments below why. And as always, stay sexy, Lincoln.
I'm still plenty angry, you understand, but the difference is that I am now able to strike back.
So while I really don't have any like funny quips or anything to say about Ted Kacynski, that would be kind of odd here at the end of the video, something funny did happen while I was recording this video. I'm sitting here recording it. I can't even remember what it was I said, but apparently I said something that freaked out the Google Home thing I got over here, and it scared the ever-living fucking shit out of me. As you can see here, he looks like
Sorry, something's not right. Wait a few minutes and
fuck
try
out of
setting
me.
up again. Something's not. You can also
Shut up,
device
bitch! Jesus, that gave me chills. I thought that was a person right there. I'm down here all by myself. It's dark everywhere else. I know it looks real light, but it's really dark in this room, and I've just got these bright lights right on me. Oh my god, that freaked me out. Ain't nobody supposed to be down here but me. Fuck! There you go, ladies and gentlemen. You get to see me be a little bitch.